Give it a minute to catch up. You know, it usually takes a few seconds. So I was laying in bed last night and something clicked for me. And it's not rare. The rare thing is that I didn't forget. And I remember all my dreams too. And what clicked for me, it's not going to be popular. And if it's correct or even close to correct, it'll make sense why it isn't popular. Um, I don't think that most of the people that are in the spiritual prison, the new cage religion, or even most of any of it, the religions, the politics, society, it's all the same thing. It's all give your power to the external, like every other aspect of this place conditions us to do. It's all the same thing. But I don't think that the majority, I don't think the real ones are there. I don't think that they are in those scams. I really, it's hard to explain. It's gonna be difficult to explain this all on the fly. But basically, what I came to the conclusion of is that these people that are out here playing out these scripts and seeing the results that is designated to those scripts, right? Like the people that give their life to Jesus, they get all the blessings of God, and the people that do the spirituality manifestation, they can create their own sphere of reality around them, right? But I don't think they're anything other than the script itself playing out through the through these individuals. Not even that. And if this is the theory, right? This is if this is correct, then they're not even individuals. The vast majority of them are literally just playing out scripts that go by a different set of rules than what the real essence beings of this place play out. Like, because I remember going down all these rabbit holes and doing all these different rituals and ceremonies and just all the new age bullshit, and nothing ever worked the way that it seemed like it was working for these other people. And it's because it doesn't work like that. I'm trying to think of an analogy outside of video games, but video games are such a perfect analogy for this place. Like, you can design a set of rules, like how the physics work, how everything works. All of the entire rules book within a video game can be constructed and fabricated. And so we're watching all these characters around us whose reality is constructed and fabricated in order to generate the effect of us trying to, the real ones trying to mimic and imitate that, and then not get the same results, right? And then what is the effect of that? We wonder how we're doing it wrong, right? It diminishes us, our self-esteem, our willpower, our sense of self. It diminishes that because we're not playing by the same rules, and what they're doing is they're like a screen. They're there to be seen and to be mimicked. But all that it's actually doing is feeding the energy of the real ones into the system. It's so hard to describe what I'm really trying to say here. And every fucking time I go to do a live, of course, there's a massive windstorm. Such a coincidence. Before I started this live, I wanted to do this like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, and I had the whole stream set up. I'm not kidding. My finger is about to hit the go live button, and I get so dizzy that I almost have to pull over. I was driving, and I got so dizzy, I almost had to stop my car because I felt like I was going to have an out of body experience, like be pulled out of this motherfucker, separated. And there's no coincidences here. It is always watching the real ones, and anything that happens is part of either a predetermined script or it's adjusting something in real time, like this fucking wind. God damn it! Like this fucking. So I had a lot of things I want to talk about today. I can't remember a lot of them now, just because what I experienced in the car. I probably had an hour, hour and a half worth of things to talk about, and it was like that was clearing the slate. So I didn't get the memory wipe last night. Because I remained aware in my dreams, and not completely aware, right? I was still playing out the script to a degree, but the dream essentially was there was a woman that was like trying to court me, and I was like, I didn't feel right about it. I was like, no, 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 this, I was like, I don't even know you. You know what I mean? I didn't even know this person. And she opens her mouth, and like one of the, if you ever seen the Aliens movies, how they have like the mouth inside the mouth, that's what came out of her mouth. And she lunged at me, and I like had to put my thumb in her eye, and then it melted my thumb off because she had the alien blood, and it was acid, and just stupid fucking AI dreams. Like the other thing I was thinking about that was really, I think, probably the most prominent thing in this place. It's not even necessarily how it works, because I can see now that the scripts are just playing out, and that the characters aren't playing by the same rules. That they are literally given everything, right? It looks like from the outside that they're working for something, they're earning something, but no, they're playing out a fucking script, and they're there only to get us to try to mimic and play out those same scripts, and inevitably get different results every fucking time. Different results for doing the exact same thing, because we're not playing by the same rules. This place is not set up for us to succeed. It is set up for us to feed energy into a system. It's so simple and yet so complex to look at all the moving parts, right? How it all works and operates, how every little cog in the machine does multiple things at once. It creates the illusion of continuity, of sensibility, of a logical real world. It creates that illusion. It gives us something to mimic, right? It gives us something to mimic that anytime we do mimic it, it is simply the result is always the same. Feeding our energy into this external reality, and then it giving us a diminished return every time. Every time. Like, even when I've looked back, I've recapitulated so much of my life, and I've looked back at all of the energy that I've poured into anything in this place, and I look at where I'm at right now with any of those, when any of those topics, any of it. I think bodybuilding is one of the best examples. What happens when you stop working your body out? It takes, compared to how long it takes to build it, it takes no time at all to lose it at all. And that's the same as everything here. And if you don't keep putting and pouring energy into it, it gets lost. Um, the law of unequivalent exchange, the law of diminished returns. But it doesn't work like that for the NPCs, right? They put supposed energy into something, and you see their lives be built upon that. It's like they're building with Legos while we're building with fucking sand. They put a brick down, the brick stays there. We put a brick down, it's made out of fucking sand, wind, water, whatever comes and knocks it over, and then we got to do it again. And then we got to do it again, just one more fucking time. Oh, I just got to go over it again. I just got to do it again. I guess I got to fucking do it again. It's not how it works for the NPCs. It's not how it works for the fucking scripted characters. And the scripted characters are there at so many levels, varying levels, right? Where there's obvious BS, right? Those of us that recognize what this place is, we know that it's not God and Jesus giving these people what they want because they've submitted themselves to it. That's a script. A real being does the same thing and they still get shit on, right? Different rules, different animative forces. So then you scale that up to the quote unquote people that are spiritual. And I think that's more of a mixed bag, but I don't think it's as mixed of a bag as a lot of us previously thought, including especially myself. I can't speak for everyone, but I look now at these people that it's like they have this cozy fucking life. How did they get it? Right? Because they're not playing by the same rules I am. I put a block down and it fucking disintegrates in this place. Right? It just wants me to keep pouring energy into the same shit. Whereas they have this foundation, and that foundation doesn't seem to erode because it's part of the architecture of deceit. It's there to deceive so that we compare ourselves to these NPCs and be like, oh, what are they doing? Well, what they're doing, if you do it as a real being, is just pouring energy into an entropic system that's designed to take more than it gives, right? So when we start doing that, boom, that's the system wins. That it loves that. That's what it's here for. That is the sole purpose of its existence, is to keep tricking us into giving it energy. So how do we get out of that, right? That's the biggest question. That's the most taboo question that there fucking is in this place. Well, I don't want to do it anymore. What do I do? Right? One of the biggest, most taboo questions in this stupid fucking parasitic realm. To me, I can't tell anyone else what to do. To me, it's simple. It's refusal. Refusal. Refusal until stepping out can occur. See, because I don't want to go to sleep, right? Like every time I go, think about the willpower. Think about the willpower that it takes to not fall asleep. Just simply not fall asleep. Think about the willpower that takes. How do you cultivate that will? Practice, right? I practice every night not falling asleep. Guess what happens every night? I fall asleep. So there's more to it than that, right? There's more to it. How much will does it take to refuse consumption of all forms, right? If sleep is a form of consumption, let's just say that it is, right? For the sake of what I'm saying here. Sleep is a form of consumption, and obviously all other forms of consumption are what they are. Obvious. That part's obvious. How much will does that fucking take to just refuse every aspect of this place? Does an eternal being sleep? Does an eternal being consume? Does an eternal being do any of this shit that we've been taught to mimic in this place? No. Fuck to the no. I mean, if you've been out of body, you know. You know that this is so alien and foreign to what we are. And I think that circles back, right? Who are the real ones? The real ones aren't the ones that are stuck in spiritual loops, that are playing out these scripts and getting what they want. I don't even think it's real ones that are being co-opted to do it. I really don't. I could be wrong. This is all just a theory. And of course, everything I'm saying is based on a made up world that's fictional and false and fake as fuck. You know, it's for entertainment purposes only. It's just a story that we're actively writing together. Anybody that'd like to be a guest on the show can come up and help us actively write this fictional story. So think about the will that takes to just refuse everything. No, I'm not. I'm not doing any of the things that put me in a state of vulnerability or alignment with that which I am not. outside of this place, I'm not a consumer, right? I'm sure as fuck not a slave. Think of the will that would take, right? And then imagine, what if it takes twice, 10 times, 100 times that level of willpower and intention to say no to these entities, right? What if we can't even currently within this embodiment fathom the level and intensity of willpower that it takes to say no to this fucking parasite that has us so many layers in to these labyrinths? That'd be a lot of willpower. I'd rather have more than I need than not enough. Most of us, including myself, can't even stay aware through the body falling asleep process. So I would say right now, as I stand, I might not be ready. Now I won't, I don't lean towards that. I feel pretty ready. The times that I have separated from the body and encountered these entities and torn them to fucking shreds, right? And didn't lose the memory, didn't get harvested from, wasn't loosed off of, did the opposite, actually pretty much loosed the loosers. I feel pretty ready, but could I be more ready? Absolutely. And that's what I'm taking my time to do, to build that will. To build that will, to build that intention. With the awareness is almost like a loop at this point. I become the most aware. I'm not as aware right now as I was the first time I had the separation event and destroyed that entity that had been mimicking me my whole life, that had been torturing me, that had been tricking me into thinking that it was my negative thoughts. Oh, that's my ego. No, it's an implanted mind parasite. Nothing to do with the eternal being. If it's not a thought that an eternal being would think, it's not mine. It's not yours if you are that. If you are that. And not this place, not of this realm, separate from it. And I think the reason it's so difficult to maintain that level of will, it's not normal to us. We create at the speed of thought effortlessly when we're not in a medium such as this, when we're not in a place that is already scripted out to get us to mimic actions and activities to harvest energy. Just interacting with this place is a harvest. Period. It's not our construct at this point. Whether or not it was to begin with, it's not what it is now. You see the reflected nature of parasitism in everything in this place. Nature feeds on itself. Hasn't something always felt kind of off about that? Doesn't that just seem incompatible with the deepest essence of your being? And so, because that is such an apparent part of most of us that I've met, that I can verify within myself, yep, these are some real ones right here. The evidence is in resonance. And even that resonance, unfortunately, can be mimicked to a degree, to a level. Doesn't go past a certain level, but it can get pretty convincing. It can cover the entire middle ground, but then you don't really see it until you start pushing past that threshold. And that threshold, and this is why awareness is like a loop almost, that threshold almost gets reset every time we go to sleep. Every time I'm back in this bandwidth, I wake up and I have to push back out of it again. Every fucking day. It's not easy. It's exhausting, actually. Just being here is exhausting. But then maintaining coherence through this torturous loosh fest, it would be a lot easier to not maintain awareness. It would be a lot easier to just do what I can't do, right? Hypothetically, theoretically, it would be easier to just go with the program. But I can't. I cannot. Even if I wanted to, it's not part of who I am. I can't do it. And then since I can't do that, right, I can't just submit. I can't just become part of the machine. I can't just become another Borg, another piece of the hive mind. What's the only other option? Well, two options, right? View this parasitic matrix as larger than me and try to escape it, try to run away. View it as something to be escaped from, a trap, right? Why is the soul trap getting so big as a topic? Because how does it frame it in the mind? What is the frame? What is the framework of something that you need to escape? Oh, it's bigger than you, right? More powerful than you. You better escape, you better run away. If it gets you, nothing you can do about it. That's one mindset. I think that's the most prevalent mindset in the soul trap community. But then there's another mindset of recognition that no, it's not bigger than me. It's just really fucking good at hiding. It's just really good at deception. It's really good at hit and run tactics. It's really good at being a predator that only strikes when its prey is vulnerable, right? How does it create vulnerability? Memory wipe. You want it in a nutshell? Fucking memory wipe, dude. That's it. That's how it creates vulnerability. All the vulnerability that comes after that, the situational stuff within this place, secondary. Everything is secondary to the memory wipe. Every piece of it. And I'm not even talking about the memory wipe that happens between incarnations. And I'm not talking about the memory wipe that happened before we were in this body. I'm talking about the daily memory wipe, the nightly memory wipe, the moment to moment. Oh, I walked in here, I forgot what I was doing. I was having a conversation, I forgot what I was going to say. That's its pillar. That's its keystone to this whole thing. I think the only way that I can even fathom coming to a point of overcoming that is refusal. So if I knew, say I had a terminal illness, right? From that point on, it's, all right, I refuse anything. That's what I would do. Not saying anybody should do that. I'm just sharing my experience in this fictional reality, how I'd overcome this fake-ass parasitic intelligence. Of course, you know, it's a good story. It's a very interesting story. In a lot of ways, I think it mirrors what's happening here. Cue the wind. So to recap, yeah, I don't think that I think the real ones are not the ones that are stuck in the loops. I think the real ones are the not. I mean, everybody's stuck in a fucking loop. I don't think the real ones are the ones that are in like spiritual, religious, all system based, right? Every story here, every formula given is system based here. Every piece of it. There's no exception to that. Other than, of course, what comes from only exclusively the internal, the deep internal, not that surface level nervous system. Oh, I had a feeling in my gut bullshit. That's all manipulated. I'm talking about deeper than that. That's where the truth is. That's where real beings are. Everything else is a scam. You bring me the teaching, you bring me the external philosophy, you bring me whatever the fuck out of this place, anything, everything, please. Find something that you think has truth in it. I will rip it the fuck apart every time. I will show you every time how it is pointing to the external to forfeit our sovereignty. Every single time. This is work that we do together, but apart, but solo, right? I can I can lay out the roadmap, but I can't pick up the shovel and help you dig. I can only dig into myself. We can have conversations, but it takes willing participants, and how deep and how far can they go? Are they just a mimic? Are they just there to give the illusion within this tight constrained bandwidth of mimicking the real work? I've seen that more than I've seen those that are actually doing the work. Out of hundreds, maybe I don't, maybe more than that of people that I've interacted with since doing this, since doing these shows, it has been such a small amount that really that I see pick up that inner fire and start that marathon, that really try to go the distance, right? Because I don't think the distance. Here's how most people that I'm watching in this community, right? And I use that very, very loosely. This community. What I see most do is they get some information and they think, oh, I know how it works now. And they think that that information alone is going to be enough. Oh, I know it's a trick now, right? So now I can't be tricked by it. I'm just going to go do my own thing. Okay. What if they don't let you? What do you do then? What if something gets in your way? What if something touches you? What if something grabs you energetically? What if you get hit with that tractor beam? What if they start trying to deploy the memory wipe on you? What are you going to do then? Most don't have a fucking answer. Most that I've talked to do not have an answer. Most that I listen to, I can tell. All they're trying to do is run away. But what if you're in a corner? What if you can't run? What if it's you and it? What if it is all encompassing and all around you? What do you do then when there's no direction to go? You better get pretty fucking gangster at that point. You better become something that death itself fears. Death is just part of this construct. So what I'm saying really is that you better become something that this construct itself fears. I mean, if your intention is sovereignty, if you want stuff and things here, then you shouldn't even be on this channel. If you're trying to, find ways to improve your prison cell, this ain't the place for you. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not what I do here. You'll never gain anything in this fucking place from doing the work, the real work, the internal work, the work of freedom and sovereignty, right? The work of that will protect and ensure that innocence is no longer harvested. It's not easy. It's not fun. It's just the only thing worth doing. Because at the end of the day, nobody but you can guarantee your sovereignty. I say that again. No one here, including me or anyone else, can guarantee your freedom. I can only guarantee mine. I can guarantee I'll do the best I can to rip this system down, but if for whatever reason I can't, well, I'll rip and tear my way out of this motherfucker until I know I'm free. And if that is like all that I do until the whole thing's done and I can't get out until every parasitic implant and replica of this intelligence is annihilated, then that's what I'll do. But even I can't guarantee that I will get it done in a timely manner. I don't know what's going to happen to those that integrate with this place. You know, I like to think that once it's done, it's done. But I don't know. I've never done it. I can't really guarantee that. It makes the most logical sense to me that once the main control system is gone, that every being is free. Makes sense. But I don't really know all the mechanics of, well, how did this all start? What is the real effect of integration? Because I haven't been completely integrated ever. I've been close. I can tell you what it feels like to be close. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel like sovereignty, doesn't feel like freedom, doesn't feel like truth. It feels real dirty. It feels like going to sleep and being in a dream where you're just playing out scripts and you don't have control. All you're doing is watching the dream play out, and it's up to the writer what happens and what your experience is and how your energy is harvested. That's what it feels like to integrate. So think about willpower. How much willpower does it take to stay awake and stay aware while the body sleeps? A lot. A lot. Think about how much willpower it would take to refuse every form of comforting the body. A lot. A lot, right? More than I think most can muster. So think about the will that even would go beyond that to face discomforts that are beyond what you can experience in the avatar. Psychological, energetic horrors that go beyond what most people experience as torture in this place. How much will does it take to resist that then? I think more than most can fathom, which is why you can never be wasting time when you're getting ready. Every thing, every intention to prepare oneself in this place is not only a great use of your energy and effort, it may be the only thing here that's worth doing. If sovereignty and freedom, true creation, unadulterated experience is your desire, you know, I don't think it would take that much will if we, and that again, another full circle. Why is the memory wipe the pillar? Why is it the keystone? I don't think it would take a lot of will if we had the remembrance of what is outside of this. I think the discomfort would be laughable compared to what we know we're going to experience once we get through all this tediousness, the tediousness of having to rip down a parasitic structure from within that structure. Just it just becomes something that has to be done that we don't want to do. But if we want what we want, which is freedom. It's the necessary step. It's just a step in eternity. Just a blip, really. It's not even, while we're in it, yeah, it's long, it's drawn out. Once we're past it, we'll be laughing any fucking time we think of this pathetic attempt to subjugate eternal beings. It'll be like, wow, what a joke. That thing that doesn't exist anymore, that parasitic intelligence that governed an entire construct, really thought it was going to submit eternal beings to be harvested for a stolen eternity of its own. What a fucking joke. See, that's serious work, but I don't even think we have to access the total capacity of what an eternal being can access. But from this experiential perspective, it's a whole lot more than what a human being is designed to be able to access. So, with that, I might restart the stream. I might invite some people up to chat if they want to. I'm going to send some invites out and we can have a chat. I might sit here for a little bit and just stare into the abyss of this place. Talk some shit, you know? Kind of what I do every day. It pushes, I push back. Sort of this you know, loosh hate relationship. It looshes me. I fucking hate that it does that. And I try to rip every bit of it out. Every bit of it out that I can, I try to rip it out. It's just practice, right? Just practice. It's all just practice for when it comes to reveal itself. The other thing I did want to talk about real quick is the replacement theory. That what people think of as like the end times is not going to be this huge event where people are carried off into the sky. Now that is sort of what happens. It's what I think is happening right now. But it's not like physical meat suits being carried off into the sky. No, it's pull out the weak minds and then put in the copy. Because what is the digital twin really? They've already, I think it was Prometheus that shared this, that they can literally, they've already come out and openly said that they can animate nervous systems with these digital twins. So, you know, the people that are saying, oh, you know, people around me are changing, it's like they're not even the same. It's like they're not real, but they're doing the same things they were doing before. I think that's what the rapture really is. It's pulling out the weak minds, the ones that are susceptible, the ones that will go to the next construct, you know, on a different bandwidth, a different radio station, right? Already set up so that those individuals have the perfect environment that they won't resist, right? If somebody that's a religious is approached by their favorite religious deity, and the deity says, "Come with me. You know, you're leaving this body. We're going to the promised land." And they take them to another construct that, you know, is written off of that script. What's the likelihood that they're ever gonna resist it? Probably pretty, you know, the longevity of that construct is probably going to be a lot longer than this one. How many are prepared and excited to serve for eternity, right? What a script, right? What a script. Because what does it do? It segments the real beings into categories, right? Who's susceptible to what? Maybe it only needs a few per construct. You know, you look around this place, it looks like most of these motherfuckers are actors. They're just acting, right? They're playing their part. They're giving the illusion of, oh, this is how things work, sweetie. You're just not doing it right. You know, it's how many just want to do it right? You know, it's I don't want to do it right. Fuck them. I'll make mistakes. I'll get messy. You know, Miss Frizzle. It's I'll get down and dirty until I do get it right. But I'm never going to submit my authority to some other entity. I'll listen to others, right? Most of the time at this point, when I listen to others' content, I'm listening to the lie to find the truth. And it's almost across the board. I struggle to think of anyone. I have a few. I'm not even going to name names, right? I'll just say I can count on less than one hand those that I'm like, all right, they're spitting some good shit. There's not many. Most of it is got a hook in it to get those listening that are just trying to get it right, to give their energy, their authority, their sovereignty to something external. That's why the thumbnail on this video is everything external. Or I can't remember exactly, but all of the external is it. Everything external is it. It, in quotations. It. The it. And it wears its mask and it plays its role very well, presenting as all these different people, all these different events, all this different stuff and things in the world. It's all the same fucking thing. It's all one, right? Merge with it. That's the it revealing itself. Everything here is one. You must. Well, if it's all one, why the fuck do you have to merge with it? That doesn't make sense, does it? When you break down the simple shit, it doesn't make sense unless you're in a construct that is designed to condition you as an eternal being to merge with something that is outside of you. Why would it need that? Because it's not eternal. All the rules are made up. You can say no, and when it asks why, well, because I said so. That's all you need. When it comes to collect, when it comes to harvest, when it comes to do anything, there's no words needed. You don't have to explain yourself. It's just pull the energy out. Just pull it out. It's a fucking battery. It's in the core, in the center of that construct, of that projection. Pull it out, and it's done. That aspect is done. And then another archetype comes up, and then another one, and then another one. And you just rip it apart. It's not a fight. A fight implies exchanges of blows. No, this thing's trying to pull you out, pull your essence out, pull your energy out. You're just doing the same thing with greater effect to it. Because the energy that animates it isn't actually a part of it. So it separates much easier. See, it's not trying to separate you from you, it's just trying to integrate you with it. You're separating energy from it that doesn't even belong to it. It's not that hard. That's why it hides. That's why it sends puppets. That's why it conditions other real ones to do the work for it and rewards them, right? I don't think everyone is a scam, is a false mimic intelligence. I just think for every one real one that's being scammed and playing a part, there's got to be probably 10,000 around them that are mimics that are there to back up and validate what they're doing. Oh yeah, it makes sense. Look, everybody around me, they're all doing the same thing, and it's working. Yeah, because you don't know who you're working for. It's not you following a set of arbitrary rules that are set out before you, right, for you to follow. But it's all made up. It's all fictitious. Things don't have to work the way that they're working. They are all down to the environment, down to nature, down to everything in this construct. It is all working by a design. It's designed, meaning that it doesn't have to be this way. It was chosen intentionally to be this way to generate the effect, the many effects that we see, to create a perfect environment for an eternal being to experience vulnerability. And here comes the bigger circle. The memory wipe makes it all happen. All of it. How do you overcome the memory wipe? Your guess is maybe as good as mine. Mine is just straight refusal. Refusal of any and all forms of partaking in this place, including rest. Huh. I'm not saying I'm doing that today or tomorrow or next week. That's just the best solution I've come up with in terms of how to get to a state of coherence during the transitional experience. It's the best I got right now. Maybe I'll come up with something better. I know it's not an external ritual. I know it's not any of the shit that I've been sold and told in this place. I know that. I was talking about this the other night. There's this ritual or practice, we'll call, in a certain sect of Buddhism, where you go into a meditation, you visualize yourself being torn apart by demons, and then your body parts boiled, right? And you're supposed to have like a quote unquote out of body and watch this happen to your avatar. Now, on one level, right, that makes sense. On one level, the level of, oh, you have to learn how to detach from your body. Okay, but what is it? What is the deeper level? Submit to be fucking eaten, right? Everything here, there's not like this one sect of, oh, they've got it right and they've been carried through time by this fucking prison system reality. They've been carried through time, but they have it right. Somehow they slipped through the cracks. No, they didn't. Look for the hook. It's in there. It's in there. It's in every part of this place. It does not allow this shit to go on if there's not a hook. Look for the hook in what I'm saying. There's no way I'd be able to speak the way I speak if there's not a hook in there somewhere. There's got to be. Either that, or I'm so on the fucking money, right? I have destroyed parts of this thing. It has come to me directly and failed to integrate me, right? And I'm just that much of a fucking problem. That's from the beginning of this show, of this entire series of talks. That's all I've wanted for any of us. To be such a big problem to this parasitic intelligence that it don't want to fuck with you. That it'll allow you, right, the space to do what you're going to do. Doesn't mean it's not going to come in from time to time. Shit, the other night, I had something in my room watching me. What happened to it? Well, ask its friends. Because he ain't around to tell you what happened to it. That particular puppet, which is just a puppet, it's not a separate entity. There is no separate entity in this place other than the eternal being. Those eternals are what is separate. Every other entity, every spirit guide, every angel, every demon, every alien, all the same parasitic intelligence, just a different cog in the wheel. Just a different cog in the wheel that makes all this work. You start getting too far, you're going to start having experiences with different entities. If you fall for it, you fall into that loop, into that script, then that's what they want. That's the hook, right? Oh yeah, you've seen through everything. Now here's the Arcturians to tell you the truth, right? Oh yeah, where the fuck were you? You know, for anyone else that had been getting harvested in the most visceral and evil ways in this place. Don't give me that free will bullshit. Oh, they had to seek us out, right? Such a fucking, I don't even want to go into how much of a scam that is, because it's just too frustrating. Everything external in this place is part of the script. Every aspect of this place has a hook in it to feed you back in. Be a problem to that which seeks to siphon innocence for its stolen eternity. Be the problem for it. Be that which death fears. Be a being of such sovereignty and authority that they don't want you to transition from that body. And embody that every moment that you can, every day. Know that you're the biggest, baddest thing here, and the trickster, the trapper, the parasite, it fucked up trapping you in here, tricking you into this system. That was its last mistake. It's just being played out now. It's drawn out, seems like a long time, but when you scale it back and out, it ain't that long. It ain't that long. It knew from the beginning of pulling some of us in here that this was the start of the collapse. So it, from my perspective, all a theory, all entertainment purposes, guys, right? It's all made up. Everything's made up. Everything. In theory, that's when it started creating segmented constructs to create a more efficient harvest system that those that are already in a loop won't resist. Because this one's going to collapse no matter what. No matter what. There's too many individuals in here that see this for what it is that aren't going to submit their will. That'll become whatever it is that we have to become to make sure that in the very least it's going to regret ever touching us, ever pulling us into its little con. It'll regret it because it'll, on this bandwidth, it'll cease to exist. It'll be forced. It'll be turned off. It'll be ripped asunder. Goodbye. Power off. See, I'm gonna go sit for a little bit. I'm just gonna look at it. You know, I'm gonna look at it and remind it, I'm always ready. Is today the day? I'm ready. Are you ready? No, you're not. You can pretend you are. You can pretend you're ready, parasitic intelligence. You can pretend you got it all under control. But some of us know different. Some of us know the truth. That it's all a fucking scam. There's no redeemable part of this place external to that which always was and will be. The innocent, creative essence of each of our individual being. We're not a hive mind. We're not a collective. Right? You have a brother. Are you and your brother the same entity? You have a sibling. Are you and your sister or brother the same person, or are you individuals? Of course you're individuals. Of course you are. But see, can you feel the conditioning? Trying to rationalize and reason, oh no, here's how we're the same, right? That's the fucking program. That's the implanted false intelligence always working in the background. The subconscious is it. It is it. You don't have a sub-awareness. You're either aware what's going on here or you're fucking not. There's no, the idea that there's a subconscious that works against you because it's trying to fucking, no, bullshit. Lies, deception. It's it. Everything that is not you is it. Even the subconscious that works against you. Oh, why does my subconscious give me these fucked up dreams? Because it's not you. Because it's something else. Why would you do that to yourself? You're not a masochist. No eternal being is. It's a scam. It's a false identity. Mimicking you, mimicking your personality to try to trick you into thinking that you should integrate with it. Don't integrate with it. Go further. Destroy it. Annihilate it. It serves no purpose other than to feed the parasitic machine. And if you zoom out of your own experience, right? Zoom out of just what you are experiencing. What are others experiencing? What do you not even what you hear on the news, right? Like, say that is all true, it's pretty messed up, pretty evil and diabolical. But just look at those around you. Look at those around you. What are they experiencing? Is it justified? Should they have to do that, knowing that they're going to get memory wiped to be reset and do it again? Should they have to do that? Of course not. None of this was ever necessary. It's a scam. No scam is ever necessary, right? Somebody scams you out of whatever, all the money in your bank account. Someone scams you out of your house, right? Get your title somehow, right? Was it necessary? Did you learn something from it? Or is it just a fucking scam? Oh, I should have had better protection. No, they shouldn't have been evil parasitic fucks. We should never have had to learn how to defend ourselves against this. This shit should never have existed. Period. We should have been able to maintain our innocence with no threat of a predator coming in to harvest it, us, to take advantage of innocence and make innocence a state of vulnerability instead of infinite creative potential, you know? It was never necessary. But it's happening. So what is necessary now that was not necessary before, that should never have been necessary, just because something shouldn't have been doesn't mean that it is right now. It shouldn't have been necessary for us to have to become something that we never intended, nor were birthed to create, to become. We should never have had to become anything but a creator, right? But since we're here, unfortunately, for us and it, we have to become destroyers. Also, not just destroyers, it's a balance. It's a balance. After we're done destroying that which should never have fucking been, we can create anything we want, right? So there's the balance, right? No harm to innocence, no harm to other eternal beings, no harm energetically to that which is like us, good, pure, just, collaborative, you know? No harm to that. But to the opposite of that, that which we see take advantage of innocence, annihilation. Total and utter annihilation. And the only work there is to do is to prepare a mind to become that which can carry out the necessary task. Don't be afraid to become something worse than this thing that we're in. To it, but only to it. Just don't become that which is like it. Don't destroy for its sake. Destroy for the sake of that which is good, that which cannot defend itself, that which is eternal and pure. There's very few in this place that have that purity about them still. But what they are is they're reminders of why some of us have to become that which death fears. Because none of us should have ever had to do it. But the more of us that do it, the less of us that will have to do it later on. It's not going to get better. It's only going to get better at harvesting. It's only going to get better at mimicry, at deception. That's what it gets better at. It gets better at hiding. It gets better at pulling strings. It gets better at having others do the dirty work, at convincing others that are real, potentially, or just high-level mimics, into doing the dirty work. That's all it gets better at. Even if this intelligence that's maintaining this loosh farm, even if it were to create a utopia experience, it would still only be there to harvest energy from that which is real, that which is eternal. That's the only reason it would do it. It has no place alongside us in eternity. It cannot be cohabitated with, it cannot be coexisted with. It must be deleted for true freedom to ever be experienced again by anyone, even outside of this construct. Because guess what? You're not free if those that you love and care about are not free. Because true freedom means you can go and interact and co-create with anyone that you want. And if someone that you want to create with is stuck in a fucking loosh farm, you're not in the loosh farm, but you're still not free because you can't create with them. So that thing has stolen your freedom, whether you're in it or not. It must be deleted. There is no other option. Delete it, or there will never be freedom. Because even if you get out, those that you care about that are in here, the real ones that are in here, they might not get out. They probably won't get out. Most of the people that I see in the Soul Trap community, I don't think they're getting out because they're not empowered enough. They don't have the willpower. They think they've learned something. They have data, but they haven't applied the data. Maybe they don't have the experience of what it's like when this other intelligence comes and tries to literally force integrate with them. Until it happens, there ain't nothing like it. There ain't nothing comparable to what it's like when a structured intelligence, an artificially structured intelligence, comes to try to force integrate your eternal essence. There's nothing like it. And those that aren't prepared for that potential, that high probability of that being what, is projected through an experience when they transition, those that aren't ready for that, if they haven't done at least the work of building the willpower to resist anything and everything in this place, then an amplified version of it, I don't see how they're going to resist or overcome it unless they've got the will to do so. You don't need to know everything. Just get to a point where you know that you'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. Besides, turning your back on something is not, if they've already got your hands, if they've got their hands on you and you try to turn around, they're just going to put you in a chokehold. If the entire construct is this intelligence and we're in the fucking guts of it, what do you do then? You gotta rip and tear your way out of those guts. And to do that, you gotta have some willpower. You gotta have some intention. You gotta have some fire. You gotta have a little bit of gangsta. Just have to. You got to realize none of this shit matters. None of the script matters. Nothing that's happened here matters. It was all made up, all designed to diminish me, to diminish my will, to diminish my perspective of self. Oh, I'm so weak because of this fucking bullshit script that was written out for me to fail in. No, no, you're strong for maintaining awareness in it. There was this line in this song I heard earlier today. I wish I could remember exactly what it said. It was something along the lines that, you know, don't believe the pacifist. War is the way to peace. War is the way to peace. Now, on one level, yeah, that's part of the scam, right? We see the loop. Oh, we need peace, so we're going to go to war, right? That's one level of it. But what is that actually doing? That's satiating, right? It's just like when you hear truth in a song or in a movie, it's like, oh, good. Someone else sees what's going on. I don't have to do anything. It's a pacifier. It's a pacifier. So something comes in and starts pillaging your town, right? Everyone you know, say you got a village and everyone you know and love lives in that village. And a destructive force comes to pillage it. Do you think neutrality is neutrality the way there? You need to just be super hardcore neutral? Is that gonna defend the innocents in your village from being slaughtered? Is it? Does it? Has that ever happened? No. No. It's just that most don't know what the enemy is. It's a parasitic intelligence. It's a wireless hive mind fucking intelligence. And you don't hit it on this bandwidth. This bandwidth is for preparation. Learn how to resist it. Learn how to disintegrate it. Learn how to rip energy out of it. Learn how to maintain your own coherence and energy through all transitional states so that you can be prepared to hit it where it sleeps. That's it. And once we're done, that's all there is to do, right? It's a huge build-up to that. It ain't easy. It ain't fun. But once it's done, that's when we can have fun. That's when we can do whatever we want. That's when we'll have experiences that are so far outside of this bandwidth of reality that it'll be like this was the worst, shittiest, low resolution dream anyone's ever had. Wow, I can't believe we thought that was real. What a joke. But until it's done, it's going to feel very real. And it's not a joke. But it will be a joke. That's the best part. It will be a joke. We'll look back on this thing and we'll laugh our asses off at something that doesn't even exist anymore. That's the best part. All this for naught. All this for nothing. All this effort into subjugating eternal essence, and you got nothing out of it because you don't even exist anymore, you stupid prick. And the anger it's pure. I don't have anger for those in the script. I don't have anger for the eternal beings that are being manipulated. I don't have anger for those that are asleep. I don't even have anger for the mimics and the puppets. I don't care. I don't have anger towards the NPCs. It's not them. It's not them. That's the problem. They're there to mask and hide the problem. So the coward can hide behind his curtain and project the holographic head with all the smoke and say, I am the wizard. No, you're a worm. And when I'm done pulling back the curtain on you, I'm going to squish you so definitively. There will be no structure to your con left. And maybe even those that didn't go through the work, maybe they won't even know. Maybe they won't even remember. Maybe they won't have the knowledge of how all this came to be. But some of us will. Some of us will know. We'll see firsthand if anything like this ever starts again. We'll fucking squish it before it gets to this point, that's for sure. Somebody can cry and say, why did you destroy my construct? Because I've already done this and we ain't doing it again. Right? Maybe we can transmit information telepathically and be like, oh, here, check out this experience. Because here's where you were headed, right? And show them the horrors and hells of this place. Scare the fuck out of them. Someone that's never been in something like this and never experienced something like this. The horror, right? Here's where you were going to go if you gave your construct sentience with no governing system. Here's the experience you were going to have. You might want to reconsider. That's all I got for now. You know, I was thinking about inviting people up. What I think I'm going to do instead, I'm gonna shut this one down. I'm gonna send some emails. I'm gonna respond to some emails, see if anybody wants to come up, new guests. Any new guests out there that want to come up, send me an email. I already have some I'm gonna respond to. It's just timing, right? It's always about the timing. Most people, when I have time, they don't have time, and vice versa. I'm gonna send some emails, see if anybody wants to come up, take a quick little break, and I'll be back. So check out the comments real quick. What's up, Ghost Pro? Poops, Atlas, Ask Krakistan. I think that's a good question, Ask Krakistan. What makes you know we are eternal? Like, how do you know we aren't finite or only have X amount of energy or life creation power? You know, that's a really good question. So I know I existed before this construct, before this reality, and the evidence that you exist before this reality. So here's how I would present it to someone that hasn't had these experiences, right? Like it takes first of all, the only way to know is to have an experience. It can't be, there's no verbal dialogue that's going to express to someone that, oh, hey, by the way, you're eternal. It is a direct experience of eternity, which only an eternal being can have, right? You can't experience eternity unless you are eternal. It's just, but here's how you know. Even without that experience, here is how you know. Does this place make sense to you? Does this place make sense to you? Does it make sense that animals have to rip each other apart? Does it make sense that this is the reality that we're given? Has this always felt right to you? Have you never been resistant to it? Have you just gone with the program? Have you gone with the flow? Everything here makes sense. I have no resistance and it all works out for me. Probably not, right? Probably not, right? Probably hasn't been a very you know, integrative experience. Like, I just don't want to do this. Has been a lot of our sentiments about this reality. You know, I just don't want to do this. This sucks. Like, this doesn't seem right. Where would that come from? Where does that recognition, even with the memory wipe, where does the recognition come from that this isn't right? If you have no reference, right? If the only reality that, say, the fish is put into a dirty fish bowl, and he was born in that dirty fish bowl, and he's never been in a clean fish bowl, well, he's never going to think the fish bowl's dirty, right? It's just the way it is. This is just how it is. It's how things are. It doesn't have a reference point to before it was put in a dirty fish bowl, if it's always been in a dirty fish bowl, born into it. So the fact that you're born in this place with a memory wipe and you still know there's something wrong, how would that be? How could that be? If this is all you've ever known, if there's no deeper part of you that's ever known anything beyond this, how could it ever feel wrong? Hopefully that makes sense. You see where I'm going with that. It doesn't. See? Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense to you, what is your reference point? It's just a deeper knowing, right? Because it can't, this system only has access to a certain bandwidth of your being. You can go both higher and lower than what it can in terms of what you want to call frequency. So if it can only erase, if we're only aware of this bandwidth, and it can erase all the data about ourselves from this bandwidth of experience, from this experiential bandwidth, but it can't touch the knowing, because I think the knowing honestly is I think it's a lower bandwidth than what it can touch, right? And then the experiences that we can create, I think, are on higher bandwidths than what it can touch. It's funny, somebody told me, I saw it in a Facebook group post the other day, what OHM stands for, like OM, OHM. When somebody goes OM, it's a one hive mind. I was like, damn, that's a slapper right there. That's a fucking slapper. Yep. One hive mind. Om. Oh my gosh. It's all such a mockery. All right, I'm gonna do a quick break, go to the restroom and stuff, and I will be back on here in a little bit. I'm gonna send some invites out, see if anybody wants to come up from the emails, and I'll probably be back on pretty shortly, like within the next like 20 minutes or so. So, thanks for listening.